Be the water. Flow like the water. Don't let the Mercedes get the best of you. Flow. Be the water. Woo-saw. So we're going to start the video off from this perspective. Obviously the dashboard is missing and we're going to put it in. Darn it. Got a lot going on here. Wires everywhere. These wires here, they're all going to go inside the cluster. Speedometer, you may be familiar with, goes right there. All of that's going to go in there. I'll tell you about this in a minute because it created that. These wires, this is like your 4-ways, headrest control, things like that. All those down there are going to be a radio. We'll get a new radio eventually. Not exactly a priority right this moment. Those 2 plugs are HVAC. They'll go into the air and everything. You got a couple down here. One of those lights goes inside the stick shift. It lights up that whole little bar there. And I forget what the other one does, but we'll find out. But the whole console will come back here. But first, I got to do the dashboard. Learn some lessons about the vents. First of all, this vent actually has, that white thing is something that a screw screws into from the vent itself. A little more complicated than a normal vent, it appears. Those ones on the ends, they pop into place in the dashboard. But I had to get all new vents because I cracked up the old ones because I didn't understand how it was installed. So you live and you learn. I also cracked up a few dents in junkyard cars because I didn't understand, but we know now. We have learned on the journey. So as far as this goes, this steering wheel column cover, which is what I changed, was not the easiest thing to do. It was white. If anybody's been watching the videos, know it was white. We got a black one, and a lot of old wire crap came off and blah, blah, blah. But this had 3 screws. You see those 3 little screws? Those 3 little screws take this plate off. They take that off, it pops off, and there's only a couple wires running to it, which is these, which must give power. And then the back of the steering wheel has metal on it. So I'm guessing for the airbag, this gives power to the airbag in addition to these little nubs here. But you pop that plate off, and then there's 3 more screws that hold the blinker and this in there, and it was not cooperating. You ended up having to unplug this blinker whole thing. It runs up underneath the dashboard. Had to unplug the cruise control thing that runs up underneath the dashboard. This whole thing, I did not record it because this thing took me 2.5 hours. When you don't know, you kind of go forward blindly, and it is what it is. But anyway, nonetheless, we got it. So now we got a black steering wheel cover, and that's all one piece. And we do have the steering wheel. We've had it forever. So that will go on, but that's not going on before the dashboard. And also there's updates. We actually have tons of parts. A lot of the parts that I've been complaining I've been missing forever, we have. But first and foremost, I've already been talking long enough. Let's move forward and let's attempt to get this dashboard in. I'm not going to show you the whole process because I don't know how long it's going to take. So I'm going to do the magic of television, and I'm going to pull it in here, and we're going to see where that's at and film a little of that. And then I'm going to try and attach everything, and then I might film again to show you it's done. Because if I film the whole thing, we'll be here forever. So with that being said, let's move on and let's get into it. Okay, so I've laid that big sucker in there. We're going to lay it on top and see if I remember everything I got to connect. I know for sure I got to run all of the cluster wires through the center to reattach the cluster. That thing with the red on it is a speaker wire. The only thing that I am a tad confused about is that this thing here is, oh no, it's a vacuum line. But I don't know where. It's not obvious at all, but I'm sure it will present itself over time. So let's go ahead and set that up there. Okay, so I haven't bolted it in yet, but as you can see, It is in. I'm going to do a little more close-up shot without me in the picture, but I'm pretty happy right now. It's kind of like a surreal moment. It's like, this is actually coming together. But that's my dashboard. All right, I'm going to cut from this, and I'm going to go to a little more close-up view of it and show you what I did. Here we go. Okay, so like I said, nothing's bolted in yet. I got all the wires for the cluster coming out the middle. It's kind of snug, but I think I'm still gonna fiddle with it a little bit here. But there it is. I had to attach that beige part, the bottom section there, because it is easier to attach it to it before you put it in, because there's actually bolts that go inside the vent over there that go straight down into it, so it's much easier to put that on ahead of time. That one over here, I still haven't cleaned up the wiring mess, but I'll get it shop vac. But this one over here, you can put on at any time, but that one's hard. So I put that on the dashboard before I put it in here. But yeah, it's sitting in place. I'm very happy. Biggest deal with this all was this car obviously had all the white, but I also wanted the wood grain. I felt like the wood grain made it fancier, so this has the wood grain. You'll see that the glove box has it as well, and this is why we have the doors with the wood grain, because they didn't come with it either. I just felt like it was a nice touch that a lot of the models had. Mine did not. So anyway, the first stage of the good old dashboard. I'm sure there's more that I have to do with this, but I just wanted to get you right to this moment, and we'll move on from here. Okay, make sure this wire's out the way. Shimmy on in there. Ha. That's one vent. Okay, so found a few things out. Went to go start buckling this up on the passenger side. I just showed you I clicked at the right side vent, which I forgot something, and I'm going to show you what I forgot, and I'll go back off camera and put it in there. So on this right side here, we got some wires we had to make sure that we accounted for and knew where they went. This wire here is going to go in the glove compartment box. The light, there's actually a light in there. I think other glove compartments have it, but considering how old this car was, probably a little bit ahead of the times. But anyway, there's a light that goes in there that actually has an LED bulb now. That's a whole nother subject I'll touch on in all of this eventually, either later in this video or maybe in another one. So we got two wires over here. This first wire, I already put an LED bulb in there. It does work. What that does is it clicks into the back. If you could see, there's a square there. See the square right there at the tip of my finger? Okay. That right there is where this plugs in, so that your little dial is lit up in the night. So you can see your vat. Yeah. Anyway, this posed a very interesting question for me. I got a little distance going on here, but that right there. Okay, so I did some kind of digging. I tried to find something, anything, information, and unfortunately a lot of times it's pretty general. You don't find these little quirks like, what does that plug do? But in the interest of just getting right to the point, let me get this. Okay, so this is the old piece. Remember that horrendous white? Well, that's what's there now. You see that right there? Look at that little sucker right there. This is some type of pump. Exactly what kind of pump that is, I don't know. But my new parts may be newer. Maybe Mercedes did it a little differently on the newer ones. But this one, they put this little motor there. And there's a hose that attaches to the end of it. You probably can't see that, but there's actually like a 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch hose that attaches to the end of it. And I guess it must pump something. So I was perplexed. What? Is it important? I don't know. So I tried to follow lines, and then it finally hit me. There is a hose that runs up here. It runs all the way to the top up there. Okay. You see this thickest one hanging? That's the hose that this thing is attached to. And I think that's some type of like temperature doohickey, because it's not a button. It does sit in the dome light, but it don't do anything physically to the eye, you know, that you can see. But I think what that is I think that's how the car knows what the temperature is in the car for your HVAC. Just a theory. Well, anyway, this plug goes to that little thing. I'm going to go ahead and move forward because this one doesn't have the little pieces to mount that little motor. Now, I will come back and get to it, but just for the purposes of moving the video along, that'll probably be one of my button-up things at the very end when I'm literally almost done with the car, and I'll be happy to take the time to put that in. But as of right now, not a real big deal, not going to stop any of the normal functions as far as I know. So I'm going to go ahead and we got our vent back here. I'm going to line that up. Okay, so get these wires over off to the side here. So I'll always have the wire accessible. Let me shove that one down in there because I'm not using it right this moment. This wire, now we know, is going to click into place on this thing one way or another, or not. I suppose it could also be or not. No. Okay. It's not working. Okay, we got it to behave. I stopped before I shoved it in all the way just for effect. So I got my wire connected so our little dial will light up. Yay! It's the little things sometimes. I wanted it to work. Why not? Click, click. I heard a lot of clicks. And there we are. And our little wire. Let's make sure our vent is connected. Oh, there we go. Yeah. We are good to go. Let me open that up. Yeah, we are good to go. That boy is in there. Right on. Now, the center vent. And we'll see where we go from there. Well, this turned out to be way more than Doing this, or even the other vents, you realize there's a lot of little things that you got to end up focusing on and making sure they're right because you don't want to revisit them later, you know? So with this works now. There, it actually opens and shuts the vent. It's a little stiff. I might put a little WD-40 on it eventually. But basically, you need a long Allen wrench. There's a bolt in the middle that a device, it's like this rolling wheel in the middle. It has a bolt that goes through and it attaches to this little pivot point that opens up the giant flap behind there. So you had to do that. Then the wiring that I had to run through that's supposed to light up that dial, we shall see. Had to run that through. I think I found the other end of the wiring for that too. Not positive, but we'll roll with it. Anyway, so this vent's done. The vent that way behind me is done, has its light in it. That vent I still got to pop out again and finagle that light in. I think I might have to buy, I forget what size these bulbs are. I have some of them lit up. This sucker here, see those LEDs? It's kind of glaring in the camera. It's bright, but it didn't glare bright, not at all. But this is what's going to be lighting up the entire dashboard. I got many things I'm switching out to those bulbs. A lot of the stuff in the car is LED. Number one, yes, it's a fresher, kind of newer look, which people tend to shy away from with these cars, but I like it. But second of all, it's a lot less drain on power. LEDs take so much less power. Whole car could be lit up like Christmas and it wouldn't drain the battery. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. We're going to end it right here. I got so much more to film, but I got a lot of things to figure out too. So the dashboard is in. The column covers changed. We got vents in. And on a side note, this vent and those two vents, $135. Not a cheap endeavor. This dashboard came from the junkyard. I don't know if you guys remember me showing that before. So that was cheap. Good with that. That cover, I got that off eBay. I want to say it was $20 or $30. It was a long time ago. It was one of the first parts I ordered because I knew I needed it. But, and the lights, I'll talk about more when I show you the cluster that will be going in. I don't know if it's next video. Maybe so. A lot of little things we're trying to figure out, and we got a June bug that came in here. Great. It's July, bro. What? Anyway, bugs are behind. Everything's behind. I'm going to just say, I hope you enjoyed this. There's not a lot of videos on the web about this. It's interesting to watch this car come back together and learn about how they kind of used to do things. Not that I had any idea how they even do them now, but we're learning everything. And is that a skater? I'm leaving that in too. I ain't editing that out. He had to die. I'm sorry. But anyway, so please like, share, subscribe, and there'll be plenty more of these coming. I'm going to do little bit by little bit. I don't know, in retrospect, it seems like I didn't necessarily do a lot, but there was a lot of off-camera stuff going on. This was not the easiest thing. Heck, to be honest with you, the dashboard isn't even fully bolted down yet because I'm kind of skeptical that I'm missing something. But I think I'm very close. I have the bolts in here ready to do it. Oh my God, I think that's the June bug right there. Okay, anyway, people, before they try and get me, please like, share, and subscribe. TJ's got a video that just came out. He's already filmed the next one. We are on it. I hope you look forward to that. And I will have another one starting right up after this because I got lots more to put in and I've got all the parts, so there's no waiting no more other than just getting the time to do it. But hopefully it'll get done. So with that being said, I'm Chris with Switching Lanes, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Till next time.